We are officially back on CHGO Blackhawks for a Mailbag Monday show, and love is in the air. Everyone's getting engaged except Chloe. Join us next on CHGO Blackhawks. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast, live from the Xfinity Loft. We are presented by Bet365. Download the app. Use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Welcome in. I'm Jay Zawaski. That's Mario Tirabassi. Chloe Thiel is here running the show as well. We've got a lot to get to today. A bursting mailbag, but a couple news and notes before we begin. I mentioned in the cold open that love is in the air. We have a trio of Blackhawks and Blackhawk adjacent engagements. Alex Vlasic got engaged to his now fiance Peyton. Wyatt Kaiser and his fiance Emily are now engaged. And our buddy Ben Pope from the Sun-Times announced his engagement yesterday to his fiance Catherine. So congrats to those three. Busy.
Awesome. Yeah.
Olympic break.
Yeah. Hey,
Man.
I mean, that's what's funny about the three engagements is one of those settings is not like the other.
Yes.
Alex and Ben were in very warm, sunny places, and Wyatt and his fiance were on brand ice fishing.
Yes. That is a Kaiser family tradition, apparently.
Yeah. Everyone's Olympic breaks are a little bit different, but that's awesome. That's awesome for everyone involved in that. It's fun to see that, and it'll be fun to ask those guys about it.
Yeah,
when they get back to practice, starting
obviously
tomorrow
in love, and obviously wanting to tie that down, and obviously you want to make sure that you're in love, and you want to make sure puck's deep, and obviously want to be with her forever.
Neither of those guys talk like that.
Not really. No, not really. Not really. Yeah, that'll be fun. It's cool to see that. And I mean, that's the age group these guys are at, like 24, 25. It's when most people, when they're 24, are in a relationship and ready for marriage.
Well,
and if you're not, there's probably something you need to reevaluate.
You're also, kind of a little bit more financially secure in your life.
Yeah.
Sometimes not feeling like that can delay those things, but good for those guys.
Chloe, how old are you again? What? Go ahead.
24.
Oh. Yeah,
wow.
That's all right.
I mean,
There's still hope.
You're kind of making it seem like it isn't.
No, I'm just poking at you.
Yeah, plenty of time.
I got married at 30.
I was engaged at 26, married at 27.
Yeah. I just couldn't afford a ring until I was 30, so that's part of it. That was the big part of it. Yeah. Anyway, lots of good news from the Hawks front. They return to practice tomorrow is the optional, and then Wednesday will be the full-blown everybody except Teuvo is back, and what Jeff Blashill basically is calling a mini training camp.
Yeah, that'll be good for those guys to get back, and seems like a lot of them were, not avoiding the break, but definitely felt like they'll get some use out of it, but there was an eagerness from the group to get back to work and get back to being together and working on what they've been doing. And, going into the break, you had a few more positive results after, a rough stretch. So individually, there's a couple guys that I want to see come back and kind of find their game again. And I think for a lot of the young guys, I think the rest will be it'll be interesting to see how they respond to it and come back. And if guys like Oliver Moore and Ryan Green see what their usage is like from Jeff Blashill and what assignments they get and how they respond to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, I have missed Hawks hockey way more than I thought I was going to. It's just, I miss being at the rink. I miss being at games. I miss just the atmosphere. And I think while these guys definitely appreciated the breather, especially the really young guys, they're probably excited to get back too. So,
Yeah.
All right, before we get to the mailbag, another little bit of hockey news today. The San Jose Sharks have waived Jeff Skinner, and if he clears waivers, they will terminate his contract. We had a couple people on Twitter ask us, is this something the Blackhawks should investigate?
No.
All right.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know what
To
it does.
to do what? Take up space?
It takes a spot. It takes a spot from
Go for a
Moore
playoff
or
push?
Lardis or somebody. Yeah, and Jeff Skinner is not going to be the difference between a playoff run and not. So I'm going to say no.
I have nothing against Jeff Skinner. Seems like a very likable person.
It just doesn't make sense right now.
No. Move on. I just, I'm not.
No, you're right.
No,
it doesn't need to be a lot of discussion about it. It doesn't accomplish anything.
He's gonna try and get another opportunity, and for a guy who, what was he last year with the Oilers?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's just gonna continue to try and get depth roles with contending teams, and I think the reason he got an opportunity with the Sharks is because they needed veterans with the young guys that they brought in. And weirdly, he was just kind of he was putting up he was producing in limited minutes, and then was just getting healthy scratched. And as the Sharks have pushed into the playoff race and look like a team that's going to go for it, they're doing it without his help, and it's a tough situation to be in. I said off air, I was just like, Jeff Skinner should be far from cooked in his career.
Yeah.
He's not an old guy. I know he's been playing for a long time, but
He's 33.
Yeah. So I think a team will either scoop him up or sign him once he does clear waivers, which he probably will because he's got $3 million. $3 million on the books. So if he clears and then you sign him to a 1-year prorated, he's going to cost you like a couple $100,000. And if a team wants to, give him an opportunity to be a depth player and go on a playoff run, by all means, go for it.
The last 3 years have not been great for him. He had an 82-point season with the 2022-23 Sabres. That was a career high. And then from there, 46 points in 74 games in Buffalo, 29 points in 72 games with Edmonton, and now 13 and 32. And I will, in fairness to him, the minutes have gone down every year. He went the 82-point season, it was 17-24, then down to 16, down to 13, down to 12-21. Yeah. So maybe he is cooked.
Maybe it happens. It happens to guys. I mean, he's been playing in the league since he was 18, 19 years old. So, he's I'd say by NHL age older than 33 by the time he's played. But yeah, there's no reason for the Blackhawks to bring him in.
All right, to the mailbag we go. Who's up first, Chloe? Who do we got? Cujo.
Curtis Joseph, nice.
Says, I'm seeing a lot of rumors of Anaheim having heavy interest in Murphy. What would a fair return be in your opinions? Just picks, another prospect? I like both of those things.
I don't think you're going to get both of those things.
I don't think so.
From the Anaheim Ducks. Yeah, I mean, Connor Murphy seems to be the top trade piece for the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
I think he's probably the second or third defenseman down the list of available guys that are on the trade market right now after Rasmus Andersson was traded. Looking at what the Ducks have, they own their own first, second, and third round picks this year. They also have their own first, second, and third round picks next year, as well as St. Louis and Detroit's second round picks next year. So as far as picks go, you have options there.
Yeah.
You could go with a package of, a second and a third, 2/3, however you want to do it.
I do that in a heartbeat.
You look at their defensive group on the right side, Jacob Trouba, Radko Gudas, Drew Hellison. You also have Ian Moore. Like, I think if you bring in Connor Murphy, that's an upgrade over Hellison. So
I would say so.
I think if you on the right side have Gudas, Trouba, Murphy, that's pretty good for the right side.
But he's got familiarity with Q. which is something to
He
consider
does.
too.
Yeah.
You want to give me a combo of picks because you've got some draft surplus, then yeah, I'm down with that for sure. I just, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because you're right. There are some defensemen available, but in terms of tradability for a lot of them, it's hard to see
like Dougie Hamilton is available, quote unquote, but he's got a longer term and a lot more money.
And he's also been hesitant to waive his no movement clause unless it's for the very specific place he wants to go.
Right, yeah.
So that makes maybe he's not the best defenseman on the board, but in terms of quality of player and tradability, Connor Murphy's up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of teams that could see him as we're going to fortify our defense ahead of the playoffs here. And if it is Anaheim, you've got Gudas, Trouba, and Murphy as your right side.
That's pretty good.
They're going to rough some people up. That is a team made for playoffs on the right side.
Sure.
That's a tough three.
Yeah.
So that seems like a good fit. Do we have a question about the fit too for Murphy, or?
Just with the Ducks, but I mean Murphy, he's going to be looked at as an upgrade for a lot of teams, and he's going to be a role player. Second or third pair guy, penalty killer, someone who can, bring a veteran presence, a little bit of, willingness to play with an edge at times. But he's never really been in that playoff atmosphere in his career. He had the one run with the Hawks in the bubble playoffs that a lot of people, including myself, don't really count as the real playoffs. But I think it's a guy that is going to be a solid depth defenseman, and really looking at what is on the trade market, that's pretty much what you're going to get with a lot of the defensemen that are available. The other one that comes to mind as like one of the top options is, I think it's Luke Shen, who's older, depth defenseman. Like it's very similar. So I know with Murphy, Anaheim is potentially out there. I've heard Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Bruins, also potential Dallas Stars, but that would be interesting to see an interdivision trade. I think if Kyle Davidson was giving the Stars a look with Murphy, I'd ask for a little bit more because of the interdivision aspect of it. But I think looking at like what teams would need to do with Murphy, the Blackhawks retain. He's costing you $2 million. So it's not a lot of money. All those teams that I mentioned have the space to make it work. So you really shouldn't have to do money in, money out. So I think for the fact that it's a very, I want to say easy trade, but it's a very manageable trade to make, I wouldn't expect anything big. I don't expect prospects back. I would think maybe a package of picks, like if it's multiple thirds or a second and a third or a second and a fourth or something like that. Like, I don't think it's going to be big, but I think because he's so accessible to trade, there's going to be a lot of teams that if they don't have Anderson, which they don't because he's already been traded, now it kind of filters down, and you might have a quote unquote bidding war for the next option as a defenseman. One
team I wouldn't point out or count out rather for Murphy would be Detroit, who's been sniffing around making trades, and I know Steve Yzerman's been hesitant to give up anything that's he believes is a big part of their future. They were in on Quinn Hughes, and he kind of punted on that because he didn't want the uncertainty of no extension, right? If Quinn Hughes had signed an extension, they would have made the deal. But I think it's a team that wants to get better on D. You look at their right defenseman, Moritz Seider obviously isn't going anywhere. Travis Hamonic is 35 years old. Jacob Bernard Docker is young, but maybe not right there yet. Axel Sandin Pellikka, young, maybe not someone you want to rely on in a playoff spot. So there's a spot on the right side for Murphy in Detroit. So that's a team I wouldn't look away from either. I think Davidson's going to have some options here.
Yeah.
I do also believe, though, that he will do right by Connor Murphy and try to put him in a place he wants to be.
Yeah.
It's just kind of been the MO of Kyle Davidson since being named Hawks GM. Now, I will say this. fine right now. But when it's time to start winning and time to start building a contender, I don't think you need to keep paying courtesy to everyone to ever pull a Hawks sweater over their head. You got to start getting what's best for the team and getting the best return you can.
Yeah.
I think Connor Murphy is worthy of that. I don't know if I'm giving the same to Jason Dickinson. I don't know if I'm doing the same for Ilya Mikheyev. Nick Foligno, if he wants to go, I'll probably say, okay, give me a couple spots if you want to go.
Yeah.
But for me, it's Murphy, Foligno, and that's it. I'm not satisfying everyone's every need at the trade deadline anymore. It's time. Like it's time to start like maximizing returns for guys. And I will say, he's done a good job on trades. It's there's very few you can go back to and say, well, that's a trade loss by Kyle Davidson.
Yeah.
I guess the only one you'd probably say that about is the Hagel trade, but there's still so much to play out in that thing that you can't even really say that right now. But today, looking at what Brandon Hagel has become, fine. If you I'll give you that one for now. So we'll see. All right, we got to hit the break zone. Do us a favor if you've not done it yet, and a lot of you have not. Hit that like button for us, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube page. We'll be back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. Check out their 100% parlay boost. Double your winnings on parlays with Bet365's 100% parlay boost. In breaking news from Bet365, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when they bet 5, win or lose. So sign up, use our code CHGO365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. And you could use those bonus bets on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, you can find crisis counseling and referral services by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. In this app, this promotion is in-app only.
There you go.
Nailed
It's fall spring. Make sure you're ready for the second wave of snow that we're going to get because, of course, this is a Midwest town we live in. Be ready for it with our friends at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Sewer, and Electric. Now is the time to make sure your furnace is ready to go, and if you are living in the fall spring, make sure your AC unit is ready to go for when temperatures actually get warm. Four Seasons is your trusted local experts for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, sewer, and electric. They've been serving the Chicagoland area for over 50 years, and right now they have furnaces starting at $39 a month for new ones and furnace AC combos starting from $57 a month. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all of their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
All right, we are back on CHGO Blackhawks. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for hitting the like button. We appreciate that very much. Keep doing it if you've not done it yet. Let's get back to the mailbag. Chloe. Oh, what'd I miss?
Nothing.
But you can't just laugh and not tell us.
No, it's better for our mental health not to...
I'm going to find it
Not to address it. What was the question? You had it on the screen. From Jack.
Oh, I see it.
Once the Olympic break comes to an end, do you think there may be some discussion in regards to moving Teuvo? As much as his playmaking skills make an impact, he's put up just a mere 6 points since the start of December. Even if you don't move him, you have to think something else has to be done with him over the next month or so.
I don't agree with that.
I don't think you necessarily have to entertain the idea of moving him hastily. He has one more year left on his deal, so I don't think any deadline move or anything like that. This year's deadline move is imminent. I also think you still need to have guys that are smart hockey players, veteran players with the young forwards. So I think having him into next season still makes more sense than necessarily opening up the roster spot. And, I think, as the season plays out and as, production averages play out, Teuvo's basically been the guy that we've kind of expected him to be, especially last year when it was just like he was really streaky and then it came out to, 57 points. Like, yeah, okay. Yeah. That kind of made sense. This year kind of feels a little bit the same, even though, again, it's this kind of like streakiness and sometimes he's invisible out there. You still have some use for him. I hope that coming back from the Olympics, he can maybe be a little bit rejuvenated with his play, being able to play with a more talented team, more talented teammates, and with Team Finland and see how far they go. And then he can kind of maybe bring a little bit of that back with him. That would be great. But I think he's probably a guy that going into this time next year, you're looking at as probably moving at the deadline.
Sure.
If you're out of it.
You would hope at next year's deadline though you're still in it.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is like if you are clearly out of it, then that's a guy that you move because he's probably going to be your most valuable piece at the deadline if you are truly selling. But I don't think anything has to happen this year or this summer. Now, if a team comes calling and says, "Hey, we'll give you this overpay package for Teuvo," sure. I'll entertain that discussion. I just don't think
one
there's
untouchable player on this entire organization.
Yeah, I don't think there's any GMs knocking down Davidson's door for Teuvo.
And I think he is on a lower scoring pace. He's on pace for 37 points this year, 38 points if you round up. That's the lowest he's had since 2022-23 when he missed 14 games with Carolina. So yes, you want to see the number production a little bit higher. But overall, he is a very effective player. What I like about Teuvo is you can kind of play him anywhere, power play, penalty kill. He's just a very smart player. And he can be incredibly frustrating because he is a pass first, second, and third kind of player. He will only shoot when absolutely necessary. But I think there's a lot of value he brings to the team. And you got to remember, too, they've got to get to the cap floor next year. That's why they traded for Ryan Ellis's contract. You're losing the Shea Weber contract after this year. So they just basically need him on the team for financial reasons. There's not going to be this sort of free agent you're going to go out there, at least not in a way Kyle Davidson seems to operate, that he's just going to go sign for the hell of it. Teuvo's a guy they know they can trust. They know he's not like a locker room leader, but he's a normal, steady presence in there. He's not going to rock the boat. He's going to give you what you expect.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. If they're out of it at the deadline next year, he becomes a very valuable trade piece with Stanley Cup under his belt and tons of playoff experience with Carolina. There will be takers for Teuvo next year, but I don't think there's any rush whatsoever to move on from Teuvo right now. No. And also you got to keep in mind too, like for a guy having a career low in points, he's never going to have less value. So it's not very good asset management. I think we all know that Teuvo Teravainen is a better player than he's shown this year in terms of production. So just getting frustrated with the production and moving him just to move him, I don't know what that accomplishes.
Yeah,
it doesn't help the team in any way. And at this point, you're going to get, because of the money and because of the extra year, you're probably going to get less of a return than you'd like.
Don't grab my putty says we need to re-sign Shea Weber.
Oh yeah, he's available.
Yeah, I mean he'll be a free agent.
Veteran leadership. Can't have too much of it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get another one in here before the break zone. Yeah, exactly. Alex in the Burb says, trade proposal. Blackhawks lottery pick and change to Ottawa for Brady Tkachuk. I'd love to see him in a Hawks sweater.
You can see him in a Hawks sweater because he played for the junior Blackhawks back in the day, as I learned this week on The Athletic, reading about Brady Tkachuk and Matthew Tkachuk and Quinn Hughes and all their connections over the many years. Brady Tkachuk played for the junior Blackhawks, and Quinn Hughes played for the junior Maple Leafs, something or other. I don't know.
That explains the dead look in his eyes.
There's a picture of them at the Brick tournament, which is always in Edmonton, where they play in the mall, and it's like looks like it's outdoor, but it's not.
The sun coming through the windows.
And it's for all it's for kids and junior players and stuff, and they jersey swap, and there is a picture of Quinn Hughes wearing a Blackhawks jersey because it was Brady Tkachuk's jersey. Anyways, that trade makes 0 sense for the Ottawa Senators to do.
That is franchise suicide.
And it is far below what it would cost to get Brady Tkachuk in a trade. One lottery pick and change is not going to do it. So
if you're legitimately trying to make a play for Brady Tkachuk and the Ottawa Senators don't hang up on you immediately, it is your first round pick. It is probably Frank Nazar. It might be and Artem Levshinov for Brady Tkachuk.
If I'm Ottawa and you say, hey, I have a trade idea for you to get Brady, I would say, does it involve Connor Bedard? Because if it doesn't, I'm not talking to you, Kyle. Because what would Ottawa get from trading Brady Tkachuk? Their captain and their leader and their, one of their best players.
Yeah, and if they made him available, there would be a massive bidding war for him.
The Senators have built their team with Brady Tkachuk as a cornerstone. I don't see him being traded at all.
No, I don't think so.
Hey, it's you want to try and have the conversation. You can.
I don't know. Of course, why would you not want to see him?
He would be a very good player on this team. He's definitely a type of player the Hawks don't have right now. But I just don't see the Senators doing that unless they're getting equal value plus back.
But what if you give him a lot of bad players? Because he's just one.
That's true. You could stack up the pile of
like Joey Anderson.
Change. How tall is Brady Tkachuk? How tall is that pile of scraps got to be?
Yeah.
6'3" pile of scraps.
6'4", 212.
6'4".
Heart and soul. Captain of the team.
God, he's a big guy.
Give me a first round pick and we're good to go.
Yeah, no, they won't do it.
That'd be great. But it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's basically like asking the 2013, well, that's probably a bad example, but asking like the prime Blackhawks, like, what would it take to get Jonathan Toews? I'd love to see that guy in the team. Yes, you would.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you would.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone would. He's going to be a free agent 2 years from now. So he's got this year and 2 more.
So in 3 summers,
he'll be a free agent,
or
he is going to cash the F out, and he's got a full no movement.
Well, that's never stopped anybody from trying.
No, not really.
Trying. Yeah, I don't see it.
I'm up for it though.
Sure, I would welcome it, but
yeah.
I just don't see it.
All right, let's get one more in before the break here. All right, BB. We met BB at the All-Star game.
We did.
In Rockford. Says, hope you found the baked potato.
I didn't.
No.
It was a busy. It was a lot busier than I thought I would be over those 2 days in Rockford, but it was a lot of fun. Next time I am in Rockford, I will get the loaded baked potato because it sounded great.
It does sound good.
I will need to make sure I get it early in the day so that when I nap, I don't miss the end of the game. I'll just miss like the second period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BB also said, what did you think of the AHL All-Star Classic? And would you recommend fans coming out to Rockford to watch future Blackhawks play? If so, share some selling points.
The AHL All-Star Classic was awesome. A lot of fun. Rockford, we talked about it when we were there on Wednesday. Talked a little bit about it on Thursday's show as well. But yeah, Rockford is just a really great AHL hockey community. The investment that the Blackhawks have made since purchasing the team in the community and in the facilities has really it's just been an upgrade to pretty much everything that the Icehogs have in operating. The BMO is a great place to go and see an AHL game. I mean, I can't recommend enough making the trip out there, seeing a lot of the young Blackhawks over the years, seeing them play, and a lot of people take pride in the I gotta an Icehogs Lardis jersey or something, so that in a few years when he's putting up 30 goals in the NHL, it's just like, oh, a Lardis Icehogs jersey, nice.
Or an Athanasiou jersey, which I saw walking the
that
concourse.
also exists. Yes. But yeah, I mean, the event was awesome. I had a lot of fun. Talked with Dana with Icehogs. He seemed very happy with how things went across the AHL community. It seems like everyone really had a good time. Was impressed with Rockford. It was great.
I thought the game it kind of dragged a little bit. I don't know what they can do about it. The format makes sense, but I think at some point you're like, who's winning again, and like what are we rooting for? Except the Central, right? Like that was just kind of the vibe. But in terms of like going to a AHL game, it's second to none. The building is outstanding. The vibes are great. The food selections are great. The fans are great. Like there's really what was great? Oh yeah, free mouthwash in the bathroom when you're bougie and you get access to the little sweet meal we had. It's an awesome experience. I just think All-Star games in general are they're hard. It's very hard to make the fans invested, to make the players invested. I will say, I do think the players played pretty hard in this for 3-on-3, 4-minute periods. Mm-hmm. But I think there was just a lot of like, okay, now this team plays this team and this team plays this team and then who's, Central has one win, but now they're in the championship because they scored 4 goals. It was kind of hard to follow if you weren't totally locked in on it.
Anytime there's math involved, it makes it challenging.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I think even still, like the skills competition, I know a lot of All-Star game skills competitions can drag on. Being there in person, it went fast. Like they went right through the events real quick. But yeah, it was cool. First time I've ever been to an in-person All-Star game. Actually, no. I went to the MLB All-Star Game 2002 at the formerly known as Miller Park.
Oh, is that the Sammy Sosa?
That was when Sammy Sosa
bonanza?
hit, a palooza of home runs.
That was the HGH commercial
that
right
was
there.
Awesome as a 12-year-old. But yeah, since then, this was the first time I've been to an All-Star game since then as an adult, and it was a lot of fun. As a hockey enjoyer, it was a good time.
Yeah,
Get
absolutely.
the NHL All-Star game to Chicago. It's been 35 years since the NHL All-Star game has been in Chicago.
That's too many.
That's insane.
That's too many.
Come on.
Do it. Or, the Four Nations or something. It says it doesn't have to always be Boston. Hockey fans live here too.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to hit the break zone. Hit the like button. We'll be back in 2 minutes. As a man, are you starting to feel like you have low energy throughout the day? Do you not have the same motivation or drive, seeing that scale move up and the hair fall out? How about your muscles tightening up at the slightest thing, like putting on a sock, like me? These are all signs of low testosterone. It's very common as you age and something to be mindful of. So whether it's peak performance or becoming a better father, better husband, or better man, check out Game Day Men's Health. They want to help support every man's health journey through personalized care tailored to your goals. It's a super easy process. In and out the door in under an hour, and their clinics are locally and family owned with a great success rate. Feel better and have more energy with testosterone, vitamin supplements, weight loss, and hair loss treatments. Check out Josh, who lost over 100 pounds in a little over a year using their testosterone replacement therapy. Start your best life with Game Day Men's Health. Check out their locations at GameDayCHGO.com. Again, that's GameDayCHGO.com.
And after you're done with your session at Game Day Men's Health, you can go to the gym with one of our friends, Huel. Their ready-to-go drinks, their protein powder that get you in the best shape of your life. Or if you have a fast-paced life and you can't have a meal while you're on the go, you can have Huel and make sure that that meal is taken care of by this little bottle here. I think this one's chocolate peanut butter. That one's chocolate. They all taste delicious, and they all come with 35 grams of protein in each serving, 27 essential vitamins and minerals. They don't have any artificial sweeteners, colors, or flavors. And what's great for me and my belly is that they are gluten-free. You can get 15% off on their website with our code Blackhawks 15. It's an exclusive code for new customers only. Go to Huel.com/Blackhawks 15 to save on getting you the protein in your life from our friends at Huel.
All right, we are back on CHGO Blackhawks, and we are going back to the mailbag. By the way, if you'd like to be on the mailbag show, if you're a diehard, hit us up in the Blackhawks mailbag channel on our Discord account. That's the best way to do it. That is one of the perks we give our diehards. And if you'd like to become a diehard, you can do that too at allchgo.com/join. You get access to all of our great written content, free shirt when you sign up, and 20% off all of our merch, takeovers, watch parties, everything, and of course, access to our Discord. So there you go. All right, what do we got next, Chloe? Mutt. Frondell has arrived in Chicago, and for some odd reason, the Blackhawks have asked the CHGO podcast to show him around town. What would be on your itinerary? That's a good question. First, we got to know what time of year it is.
Well, we expect him to be here by, mid to end of March. So, spring? Spring is springing in Chicago.
Is baseball season underway?
Yeah, opening day is what, March?
Are we ready for a brand new day? Because I'm taking him to Wrigley Field on a sunny day. That's number one. And I know there's Sox fans in here, and that's fine. What is it called? The rate? Rate Field is
guaranteed rate.
Beautiful too.
The rate, yeah.
But there's nothing better than, I would say, though, early in the year, the ivy's not going to be green yet. Maybe I hold off on that until the summer. Let him throw out the first pitch in June. So he's got the full Wrigley experience. I mean, you got to take him downtown. Magnificent Mile, right? He's got to see the Sears Tower up close. He's got to see the Bean. All the iconic things that people think of when they think of Chicago. Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
I am taking him to... there's a restaurant in North Park called Trey Kroner, and it is traditional Swedish fare. Delicious. It's awesome. I've never been to Sweden and had the actual authentic Swedish food.
I've been to IKEA and I had the cafeteria food.
Well, after we go to Trey Kroner, we're going to the IKEA in Schaumburg.
They gotta make a new IKEA commercial with him, like they did with Hjalmarsson.
They should.
They have to. They have to.
But yeah, I'm taking him to Trey Kroner, getting him a good meal that he can, if you want to ever feel like home, go there. You can get himself some fish, and what is it? That lutefish? I forget exactly what it's called, but I'd go there. And then personally, if you want to get some of the best pizza in Chicago, I'd take him to Spaccanapoli in Ravenswood. My favorite place to go for pizza in Chicago. It's traditional Italian Neapolitan-style pizza. I'd go there. And then what else is fun? You hit all the touristy stuff because you're such a tourist, Jay.
That's me.
And then probably, go around Andersonville. They've got a lot of Swedish heritage in Andersonville. 100%. I'd really pander to his home, the feeling of home in Chicago for him right away. Get him feeling comfortable because he's going to be a teenager in a brand new place. So herring, thank you, Bijan. Herring, that's the fish I couldn't think of. So yeah, I'd hit those spots.
Hjalmarsson and Kruger used to talk about that. Trey Kroner is like their home away from home.
Yeah,
and whenever they were feeling homesick, they would go there. And I think based on I've not been there either, but some of the pictures you've seen, it just seems very cozy, very very homey.
So the last time I was there, they still had the signed Hjalmarsson jersey hanging up in there. My wife's best friend used to work there as a waitress. They used to live in the area. Like, we would go there all the time. It's delicious. They do during Christmas, they do a Christmas celebration that is escaping my brain the name of it. But it's, they get the St. Lucia with the wreath with the candles. They have people dressed up like that, singing traditional songs. It's awesome. It's very like like Nordic cottage feel to it.
Higa is the term I was thinking of. It's like the
there
word
you
for
go.
comfort.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I can't recommend it enough for some Swedish food and vibes.
Yeah, good stuff. Make them feel at home. There you go.
Next.
What else we got, Chloe? This one from Brett. What is the one thing you would like to see the Blackhawks improve upon? Personally, I would like to see more offensive zone pressure. With the improvement of play, you guys choose what player or players do we have or can potentially get to help fit that improvement? Well, I mean, I think as you add more offensively gifted players, like Lardis full-time, like Frondell, like Kanserov, you're going to become better offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there's a lot of really offensive players in the league, but what we don't really have a grasp on yet, and I mean we, like the royal we, is how the trade market's going to shake out now that every team has all the cap space in the world. With the cap skyrocketing over the next few years, big name free agents aren't going to reach free agency. So you have to trade to get somebody, and even that market's going to be limited because the people that can make a trade and have players like that are typically contending, so they won't be looking to move on necessarily. And a lot of the reasons that guys like that get traded in the first place is to clear cap space so other guys can get new contracts. So it's going to be tough to acquire talent. That's just the reality for the next few seasons until these new contracts, stretch and make teams close to the salary cap again. It's going to be hard to make deals like that. So I think what the Hawks are going to do primarily is look internally, and hopefully these prospects develop into what they think they're going to. Look, like Anton Frondell was the number 3 overall pick. He needs to be a star level player.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the expectation. Roman Kanserov, we don't know. We've seen highlights on Twitter and stuff, but like he's putting up Nikita Kucherov level numbers and Kirill Kaprizov level numbers in the KHL. So the evidence we have says scorer.
Mm-hmm.
Should be able to come over and help right away.
Offensive guy. Yeah.
But we don't know yet. So in terms of acquiring talent, it's going to be very tough. We've talked about this a lot. I don't want to repeat ourselves, but he was sniffing around Jason Robertson last summer when it looked like Dallas might move him. So he's investigating there. He tried to sign Jake Gensel a couple years ago. He's investigated that. So it's not like he's just refusing to try to add offensive talent. I just think the reality is for every NHL team, not just the Blackhawks, but the 31 others, it's hard to acquire proven talent right now because of the skyrocketing cap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think acquiring talent is going to be present challenges, but I think it's going to be a thing for everyone in the league to deal with. Not just the Blackhawks, but I think what the Blackhawks have that not every team has is a lot of internal options to look at for filling the gaps with a lot of these young players, and it's going to still take time for those young guys to hit those ceilings. But that's the route Kyle Davidson has gone. He's stuck to that plan, and he's betting on the players that he and his front office staff and his scouting staff has identified as the guys to do it. For me, what I would want to see the team improve upon defensively would be defensively being a bit tougher. We've heard from Jeff Blashill kind of talk about that. Like, they have bigger guys in Crevier and Vlasic, and Lev Shanov's a big body and everything. Rinzel is tall, Korchinski is tall, Del Mastro's a big guy. But it's just kind of using that size to their advantage and not just going out there and being bruisers, but using leverage, using positioning in a way that you ramp up a little bit of that physicality rather than just technical positioning.
Yeah.
Like, throw an elbow, get a stick into somebody's ribs where there's no padding. Like, show a little bit of that.
Be mean.
And don't, like, have a little bit of that edge. I would like for those guys to, and we've talked to Alex Vlasic about it, and he's admitted that that's not necessarily his game, but it is something he wants to work on and kind of lean into a little bit. If you can get some of those big guys to play like that, that can add a different element to the defensive group. And we talk all the time about, needing to be good for the goaltenders, needing to be good in front of the goaltenders to clear the crease. It's clearing pucks, it's clearing bodies too. And they've been better at clearing pucks out, I think, a little bit this season. Now I just want them to start to get a little bit better at clearing bodies. And it's just a lot of it comes with physical maturity, but it also some of it can only come with the DNA of a player. So I don't know if you, again, with the challenges of acquiring guys, I don't know if you can bring in a defenseman that's going to be able to do that without being a detriment to the way that you want to play in transition and play with some speed a little bit. It'll be a challenge, but I think that they have some guys that can kind of learn that game and add that element to them. I hope they get that. They get to that point. And Levshunov too. Like, part of his development is he's a big guy. He's got a big frame. He can be a horse.
And he was physical in college.
And he
had that element to his game.
Yeah. So continue to bring that along too with the rest of his game.
I think physicality is something that comes with confidence. Is when you feel like you've got your own game under control, and you feel you are commanding shifts, that physicality comes when you're feeling better about your personal game. So you want to see that happen with all these guys. And look, like, you're right. You're not going to be able to reinvent personalities. Alex Vlasic is not a mean guy. But at some point, you have to find somewhat of that Neanderthal gene in yourself. Part of development is adding parts of your game that don't come naturally to you, right? Is, hey, like Connor Bedard, for example, I need to get better at skating. It was never been a problem for me before, but my first 2 years I realized I got to be a better skater. I got to be stronger on the puck. I had success without being stronger on the puck before. Now I'm not, because I'm in the NHL. It's the same thing. These defensemen have to say, I need to add a level of physicality to my game for me to be fully effective. Yeah. It's the same thing, and it's, you would think, easier to do than adding speed or adding shot power. Is just adding the mentality of, if someone's in my crease, I'm going to make them not come back into the crease. And that is a willingness thing. That is simply a mindset. Is, you know what? I'm not totally comfortable with this. I've never had to do it before. But if I'm going to be the best player I can be for this team, I've got to adapt it and just embrace it. It is fun to be the villain. Brad Marchand has a ton of fun. He loves that. The Tkachuks love that. You've got to find that in your game if you want to be fully realized. I'm not saying you have to be the next Tom Wilson or Jacob Trouba or whatever, but you got to find a bit of nasty in your game if you're going to compete at this level. It just is what it is. All right, got to hit the break zone one more time. Hit that like button for us. This is the final break zone. We promise. Talk to you in 2 minutes. What kind of dreams did you have when you were a kid? What did you want to be when you grew up? I wanted to be a hockey podcaster, and dreams come true.
Living the dream.
How about now? Thinking about starting your own business? Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Shopify even powers the CHGO merch store. We've got lots of great new merch. Mario's got his flag stack hoodie on. Get one of those. Very cozy, even in this false spring. Shopify has you covered with website creation, product descriptions, email and social media marketing, and more with AI tools designed to help you maximize sales. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into... With Shopify on your side, sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. Again, that's shopify.com/allcity.
New vehicles are in store at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and this is your chance to get a great deal at the Auto Show Sales Event. Head to Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams' vehicles. And right now, get 0% financing for 72 months on those Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams. Plus, you can shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With the friendly team of brand experts at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, them. They're there to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. And since they prioritize affordability, you know you won't overpay for the vehicle you need. And Ray's Price Promise lets you shop confidently with no add-ons and no hidden fees. Go check out our partner today to shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories and find the right new vehicle for you. Don't miss out on the Auto Show sales event on huge savings on new models. For more information, visit Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com.
All right, we are back with our new segment, The Original Take, brought to you by Hooters. Cheer on your favorite teams at any of their 11 Chicagoland Hooters locations or check them out at originalhooters.com. Our original take today comes from the mailbag because it is someone asking or saying something semi-positive about the Blackhawks. Let's bring it up, Chloe. It is BJD, our guy, says there's a lot to talk about the frustrations around the power play, but not much around how good the penalty kill has been. Can we get your thoughts and or breakdown as to why this is?
I think inherently teams' penalty kills don't get a lot of attention compared to power plays, whether they're struggling or being really effective. It's because the penalty kill is not as sexy as the power play.
Right.
You're not at the advantage. You're on the penalty kill because you made an infraction. It's not a good thing to be on the penalty kill. But if you're good at it, that means that you can turn a game around. And the Blackhawks are the best right now in the NHL on the penalty kill. 85.7% on the PK right now, a whole percentage point better than the Colorado Avalanche at 84.7%. Here's something that's also really good. The Blackhawks are the best in the NHL at net PK percentage at 88%, ahead of the Calgary Flames, who are at 87.1%. Net penalty kill percentage is a team's penalty kill that also factors in goals allowed against shorthanded goals scored. So, by that factor, the Blackhawks are even better on the penalty kill than the normal counting stats would suggest. And I think that comes down to a big factor is Ilya Mikheyev. He is a difference maker on the penalty kill. He is a guy that this season, the reason that so many people are enjoying him on the Blackhawks is because a large portion of it is because of the work he's done on the penalty kill. And the other factor to that, too, is I think Jeff Blashill came in, changed how they wanted to structure the penalty kill from what they were running previously. And like he said at the beginning of the season, with those changes, he implemented them in Tampa Bay. They brought positive results, but it wasn't right away. He made those changes with a playoff team like Tampa Bay, and it took, by his calculations, a month for those changes to take effect and for the guys to kind of finally get it. And by the time that happened, they had the best penalty kill in the league. Lo and behold, it's happening for the Blackhawks too. So it's great to see, but I think people don't focus on it because it's not a fun part of hockey. Like it's an essential part, but it's not fun. If you're the best power play team in the league, that's a lot of fun. Like, look at the Edmonton Oilers, 30% on the power play. That makes sense, right? Having the personnel that they do. But the teams that kill penalties really well are the teams that, when you get to playoff time, like those are teams that are the hard outs because power plays dry up in the playoffs. And if you're not nailing it 30, 40% on the power play in the playoffs, you're not going to go far. So now if the Blackhawks were in the playoff hunt or in the playoff picture, I'd be thrilled about their PK. I'm still thrilled about it, but it's not the talking point that everyone likes it to be.
I mean, Mikheyev, like you said, is such a huge part of it. It's not only like his physical traits with the speed and all that, but like his PK instincts are elite. Yeah. He just seems to have a knowledge for where the puck's going, where the play is moving. He is a disruptor. I also think, too, it's easier to kill penalties than it is to score power play goals. And you also, for the most part, have a more veteran penalty kill unit than you do on the power play. Your penalty killers are Mikheyev, Foligno, Dickinson, Murphy. Vlasic is not old, but he's experienced. Kaiser has experience, right? So it's a much older and experienced unit, which is less likely to sort of fall out of structure. And I think that's what we see with the power play a lot is the zone entries struggle because you've got guys doubting themselves, second-guessing their moves. They're not attacking with confidence, things you see from young players. On the penalty kill, all you got to do is get set up, right? The problem with the Hawks power play is they struggle to get set up.
Yeah. For
zone entries, dump-ins, whatever it might be, they can't retrieve it and get set up. The penalty kill is very easy to get set up because you're defending. So it's very, very simple to get ready to defend. Once the Hawks power play is set up, it's pretty effective. So that I think is the big thing for them is once they fix the zone entries, once they fix the dump-ins, once they figure out how to possess the puck on the power play, it should get back to average or close to average, maybe even a little bit above average. And as we look ahead this week, as we talked about to start the show, they're basically redoing training camp this week. They're having big work on special teams, big work on systems and those sort of things. So hopefully you see an improved power play when they get back. And look, you've got the best PK in the league to practice against. So you would think that would help the power play.
You'd think.
We got time for one more? All right, let's do it. This one is from McLovin. Says, hey, gents, since it's the Olympic break, I thought I'd ask an Olympic type of question. I always found it really cool that our future have already won medals representing their nation. Nazar, Frondell, Del Mastro, Korchinski, Bedard, Moore, Rinzel, Doc, etc. So it got me thinking, which prospects / young guns do you see representing their country in future Olympics when they hit their primes? Which country with the most future Hawks do you see legitimately winning a gold medal?
We touched on this. Was it a mini pod?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you look at the group, Bedard, Shuin, Frank Nazar and Alex Vlasic are definitely on the radar for Team USA. I think next Olympics, Team USA roster should have Spencer Knight as one of the top 3 U.S. goalies. Frondell with Sweden, I think, is a guy that's going to be on their radar with the success he's had with their junior program. And in a few years, like you'll have a couple aging guys from Sweden out, and they'll need new guys coming in. What country would have the most? Probably USA.
I would think so.
Yeah, because I mean they have a number of good, their top Canadian players, obviously Connor Bedard.
Yeah,
but you also have Ryan Green, but I don't think he's on.
He'll never make the Olympics. No.
Wow, clip it. Clip it.
I'll bet my middle nut that he does not make the Olympics. You heard me.
Clip that too. But I mean, you look at the U.S. group that they have. You could throw Oliver Moore in there too. Who knows? But I think the top, you have 3 guys that I would think are definitely on the radar for USA.
Yeah.
In 2030. You also have Vaclav Nestrasil with Czechia, probably going to be on their radar maybe not 2030, but 2034. He could be on that radar as well. There's some really good players. Really good future players.
Nestrasil 2030 is interesting.
I mean,
that'd be tough.
Probably not.
Because he's probably still 2 years away from the NHL, at least.
At least another full college season.
Yeah. So I think it's USA too, because I think Spencer Knight will become a shoo-in in 4 years.
You'd think.
Because how old is Hellebuck?
31?
Let's see. He's 32.
32.
So he'll be 36 at the next Olympics.
Mm-hmm. Swayman is younger than him.
But, as the Hawks
Ottinger's
get better.
Younger than him.
As the Hawks get better, though, Spencer Knight's the numbers are going to look better, too.
Yeah. So
I'm going to give it to USA because I think Nazar in 4 years will be a U.S. Olympian. I think that Spencer Knight will be as well. And I think there's an outside chance that Vlasic makes it.
He could.
So that would be just playing the percentages. I'll say Team USA. And, of course,
they're
going to get Brady Tkachuk for Joey Anderson in a 4th. So Brady Tkachuk also will be on the Blackhawks.
Sure.
So
then you got to factor in Connor McDavid's going to be on the Blackhawks.
Oh, yeah, the free agent signing.
So that's another Canadian added there, too.
Yeah, of course. Forgot about that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun once, we're talking about these guys in their primes. it's not only going to be a lot more fun to watch the Blackhawks, but yeah, those international games are going to be a lot more than just one Olympian.
Yeah.
Like it is this time around.
Absolutely. All right, just so you know our plans, by the way, we're at least having a watch-along Sunday morning at 7 for the gold medal
gold medal game.
At least. If USA plays for the bronze
PJs
on Saturday, we'll do a watch-along for that too. But join us early morning Sunday. We know for sure gold medal game, we'll be doing a watch-along from right here.
Do you have your nightgown ready?
Yeah.
Perfect.
A little candle.
Friday's show is also going to be early evening because we're going to do a little bit of a recap of the semifinals. Are we not?
I believe so.
Yes. So we will recap the semifinals, preview the weekend's action for the Olympics for maybe 2 watch-alongs, hopefully just 1.
That'd be great.
We'll see how it all plays out.
Should be fun.
Quarterfinal or the playoff play-ins are tomorrow, and then quarterfinals Wednesday.
Yeah, we are scheduled for 5 o'clock on Friday.
There you go.
All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 after Blackhawks practice. What? Talk to you then on CHGO Blackhawks.
We all silly like the mayor.